Smart Posts Index is a WordPress plugin capable of creating a letter-based index for your posts. Plugin supports default and custom post types, and it works by adding a new taxonomy called index and with codename Smart Index. On the first and main plugin settings panel, you can set up some of the elements for this taxonomy. You can set up a label, plural and singular, and you can set up rewrite slug. This slug is used inside the URLs. By default, visibility for this taxonomy is set so that taxonomy is not public and it has no user interface, but it can be used in cloud widget and with navigation menu. Also, it adds a column on a post admin screen where all your posts are listed. Once you have set up taxonomy, you need to select post types you want to use it for. Let's say we want to use it for posts and pages, and we want to enable additional rewrite rules. It's also important to notice that for some post types, especially default ones, you need to set up a custom slug, because posts and pages have no archives in WordPress by default. There is no way to create index archives for these specific post types without having a slug to appear in the URL. So you need to set it up here. Once you do this, you need to index all your posts so that all posts have assigned letter-based index terms. If you go to post panel, you will see a column for index, but it's empty right now. To reindex all posts belonging to a post type, go to Indexer panel and select post types and run indexing. Indexer will run in the background, and once it completes, it will display, you will see the assigned terms on the post panel. Important thing to see is how the terms are created. Each term is one letter, so it can be any letter of the alphabet or letters from other languages, Cyrillic or something like that. And to create these terms, plugin needs to parse the title for the post, and by default it will remove special characters and also strings you list here. Next thing you need to do is to control handling of numbers, so you can save all numbers under one term or each number as a separate term, so you will have terms for 0, 1, 2 and so on. If you decide to use one term for all numbers, this is the name of that term. When creating terms for this taxonomy, these are the prefixes to use in the slug for each term. Slug appears in the URL. You can leave it empty, so the slug for term A will be only character A, but that can cause conflict, so you can try it out and see how it goes. You can always reindex everything with different settings. Let's see if the indexes are finished. Yes. Here are the indexes for each post here. This post starts with a letter A. Here it is. This one starts with the number 3. We decided to use all numbers under one term, so the term is here. As you can see, there is no menu for index here, and also you will not be able to change the index There is no settings for it, but you can enable all that from here. So you enable these two options and you will have terms appearing as any other taxonomy. This is not recommended if you want a plugin to function properly. As the integration goes, plugin adds several rewrite rules and expansion to templates loader. Rewrite rules mean this: by default you will get extra rewrite rules so that main index will look like this. If this is replaced by index, and this can be replaced by post type. So for each post type you will have its own index. Also, there are two types of pages generated. One is an archive for each of the index terms, and this look like a normal archive for taxonomy, where you will see taxonomy name and term name. Plugin will add extra rule so that you can add post type into the URL. So it will filter by term and post type in the same time. For this, additional templates can be used in the theme, and these are the templates combinations registered by the plugin. Index base is a special type of page. Sometimes it's referred as index main page, where all terms for index taxonomy are listed, and with each term you will see several posts as an example or a preview of all the posts belonging to that specific taxonomy term. These are combinations of the URLs or how it can be added, and here is the list of additional templates added for this type of page. Very important thing to know is that you don't need to use any of this. Plugin can be set up to work without any templates modification, but for a full to see all the plugin features as they are intended, you need to have some theme modifications, and plugin comes with examples of templates made for default WordPress themes. Theme panel has some default settings for functions used to display indexer or index page. Plugin comes with two predefined styles, simple and elegant, and you can select each one of them for both type of pages. And you also need to select one character that will be used as a replacement for numbers term. Since it's too long, it doesn't fit well into the displayed indexer or indexed base list. Also, you can select how many posts are used for preview. Now that everything is created, we can see how all this look like. Since we are using 2012 default WordPress theme, we will add a widget to start with. By default it looks like this. We'll display it for posts only, and we'll select elegant style. And here is the indexer on this page. In this post you also see indexer. It's created as using a shortcode, so that's another way you can add indexer to your posts. Shortcodes are described in the user guide. If we click on a letter D, if we click on a letter A, you will see post archive for a term A. We are using modified templates, that are built in with the plugin for this theme, and this template shows indexer on the archive page also, and all the posts for this are listed here. As you can see, it's pretty effective because you will see only posts belonging to a letter starting the post title. Let's see how all this works. Here is the URL generated for this archive here. It includes blog that is set up to be a slug for posts, the post type, index, and slug for a letter we are currently on. If we remove this part, you will get this. A list of all terms for this post type with count of how many posts are there for each letter or numbers, and a few preview posts. We can switch to another theme. Here it is. If you remove this here and leave it only as index, you will get a similar list, but this time it will contain posts for any post type, and in this case includes pages also. In documentation you will find the information on how to create your own way to display this list here and change the way it is generated. Same goes for indexer here. All this will work by default without any modification if you use any of the WordPress default themes. We'll switch to 2010. Here it is here. Or 2011. You can modify everything for any theme. You will need some basic knowledge of templates modification, and you can use example templates that come with the plugin to create templates for your own theme. In this example we are using 4 posts here. As I said, we can show more. Let's say 7 or 6. Here are 6 posts. Whenever you make changes to this here, changing slugs or adding new post types into the mix, you always need to run the indexer when you add a new post type. And if you made changes to slugs or rewrite rules, if something is not working, simply open settings permalinks page and WordPress will regenerate some of the rewrite rules. The important thing to know is that plugin will work even if the permalinks are disabled. All the URLs will be generated to use query strings.